You ain't got no real money anyway, anyhow.
Hey guys, it's me Zaina back with another video. So today I brought you guys something that you really wanted to see. So it's a story time. I did a tweet just asking if you guys wanted to hear one particular story. So I just asked like 3 people to like it. And then like 16 people liked it. So here I am to tell you guys the story. So just before we begin, I've got a notepad here. I haven't made up this story. There's a couple of people who can attest to the fact that it's true. I've just got this notepad here just so I know which main points I need to say, because the last time I filmed this, I did go off on quite a few tangents. So, notepad, bottle of water so I stay hydrated while I'm telling you guys the story, and let's begin. Right, so since this is a story time about a previous romantic partner, I'm just going to go into the basic ins and outs of the relationship. So me and this guy were dating for a couple of months, sort of almost like 4-ish months. We met on Twitter, first red flag guys, and you know, it was a intense relationship. So we were together for like 4 months. We were long distance as well, guys. So obviously, you know, we ended up splitting up. There's a lot of stuff that happened after we split up, but I'm not really going to get into that in this video. I might make a story time about all that stuff, just because I think it would be helpful maybe for someone in a similar situation. So I might make that a video. We'll see. Right, so let's get into the real tea. Let me just get my notepad, guys. Right, so it first started off with emails. So, you know, I ended up having to block 2 separate email addresses. It was pretty immense. Basically what had happened is he'd emailed me off 1 email address, and what I had done is I'd marked the email address as spam, so that essentially blocks the email, so any emails from that address go to your spam folder. I'm pretty sure you guys get the idea. So I blocked 1 email address, and then I had to block another one. So yeah, that's where things started to go sour, I would say. Because I mean, there were multiple other things, but these are like the recent events, or like the events that happened just prior to me having to file the restraining order against this person. So yeah, receiving multiple emails from different email addresses. One of the email addresses I had blocked, so I hadn't seen as many of the emails, but another one I hadn't, and obviously I was receiving emails via that email address. That was all very immense, because it was kind of like these really weird messages, just being like, oh, block me on Twitter, blah, 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 blah. Which was just strange to me, because, you know, we'd been blocked on both sides for months at this point. Anyway, on to the next part. After the whole fiasco with suddenly receiving emails again, I ignored them, as I should. And as, you know, what was appropriate, considering the circumstances. So then came iMessage harassment. I blocked this guy's number off all my devices, like phone, MacBook, any Apple device that was gone. And then something very immense happened, and that was the fact that he had made a new iMessage, I guess. Well, I'm not sure if he made a new iMessage, but basically using the email address that he had not been blocked on, he kind of added that to his Apple ID. So then he started iMessaging me. If I can, guys, I will try and insert some screenshots of all the iMessages, just so you can understand how intense and crazy it was, because, you know, I did respond, but I was very sort of like point blank, blunt, whatever you want to call it, and this guy was just sending message after message after message after message. So yeah, email harassment, iMessage harassment. Basically, whilst the iMessage harassment was going on, we ended up talking a little bit more, but then obviously I ended up blocking again, because I'm not trying to get into any toxic relationships again. Well, I wasn't at that point, you know, maybe now I am. So, you know, 100% joking, guys, by the way, like, I don't want to date, but yeah. So yeah, I was getting harassment on iMessage as well as emails, but I had blocked, after the whole iMessage fiasco, I had blocked him again. And then now here comes the real tea. Okay, the real tea. There was no contact whatsoever for at least, I would say, a month, if not a month and a half. So I wasn't engaging with this guy on any level whatsoever. I was just like, nah, I'm not doing it. And then things started getting pretty mense. Right, so when things had started getting mense, I began to receive curious cat questions that were pretty strange. So just to go into it, there are definitely going to be screenshots here. I'm not sure if they're going to be here on the screen, here, wherever they are, they're here, innit? But it began with sort of one message. It was pretty weird. It was like, oh, why are you getting a Twitter host to sabotage my simulation or something like that. I honestly didn't even know it was him, guys. I was kind of like, huh? Like, I didn't know it was him. Because I'd assumed that, you know, he'd moved on considering everything that had happened before. But it was indeed him. And then to basically summarize this part, I just sort of received a string of messages from him. It was the only one I really retaliated to, where I was just like, oh well, I beat 10 man since we split up. About the 10 man thing, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, maybe it's more, maybe it's less. I might go into that in another video. But yeah, to be honest, I was just retaliating because I was like, whatever, like I was trying to just laugh it off. But truth be told, the whole incident was fairly I'm trying to think of an appropriate word. It was fairly exhausting emotionally for me, purely because, you know, I blocked this guy on everything. And to be honest, guys, at this point I was really at my breaking point when it came to this situation, because the way I'd seen it, if I've done everything I can to block someone and then they continue to contact me, that's not my problem anymore, or rather it's not my fault anymore, because if I've done everything I can and there's nothing more I can do, I've done everything I can. So this was a fairly stressful situation for me. I remember when I was like receiving all these messages on Curious Cat, I was like super stressed, because I started ignoring them, and then more and more of them just started appearing. Hopefully I'll be able to, sorry to interject guys, I'll be able to sort of show the messages wherever in a sort of chronological order, so you guys can kind of understand like the progression of it. Also, if there's any date disparities, it's basically because I ignored them and then I published them at a later date, if that makes sense. But like I said, if you need anyone to attest to the fact the story is true, I can give you names, whatever. Like, I'm not lying, guys. But anyway, so, you know, the messages became more and more sort of rude, abusive. I think there was one where he was like, oh, how does it feel that I'm actually stalking you now? Which was obviously creepy and intimidating, because it's like, whoa, like, relax. So these messages sort of kept flowing into my Curious Cat inbox. I was getting pretty stressed out. I honestly didn't know what to do, guys, because this was the point when I considered filing a restraining order. Because prior to this incident, I just sort of received a weird email from this guy and I just ignored it, because the email said something really stupid like, oh, have you still got pictures of your nails in my beard from summer, or something like that. It's just something weird. But I just ignored the email. And honestly, I thought he'd just leave me alone after the email, because, you know, that's sort of like one form of contact, or like the only really form of contact left that that was between us. So I just ignored that email, thought I think we've done. But anyway, back to the main part of the story that I was talking about. So I was receiving more and more of these messages in my Curious Cat inbox. I was getting pretty stressed out, guys. I can't even lie to you, just because this was something that I've been dealing with on my own, in the sense that, like, I think when it was happening, I wasn't really telling many people around me. So it was like friends, family, etc. I didn't really tell people about what was going on, and I think really the extent of it. So more and more of these more and more of these questions were appearing in my Curious Cat inbox. I was getting more and more stressed out, because I'm there like, what the hell? Like, I can't stop this. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I just ignored them, thinking, you know, whatever, he's gonna stop, but then he kept going. And then at this point, I considered filing a restraining order. So, you know, I asked some of my friends about what I should do, like how do I go about it. A couple of my friends were kind of talking me through it, advising me about it. And then here, I guess, is a point where I tell you why I didn't file a restraining order. I was talking to one of my friends, love her so much, she's Nasa. My friend is Nasa, the one I'm talking about right now. I'm gonna leave a link to her blog in the description for this video. Sorry, I keep wiping my nose, guys. Like, I'm slightly ill right now. But yeah, so I was talking to Nasa about this. I was like, listen, I don't exactly know what to do, because to be honest, guys, I was thinking I don't necessarily want to go to police. I'd rather kind of see if it stops, rather than just kind of run to the police immediately, kind of thing. Because, you know what, I didn't really want police to get involved in this, because it's a very long process, and I think it's just like even more exhausting, to be honest with you guys. Like, I've been in situations that are somewhat similar with the police before, and it's just not a nice thing to have to like go through. And honestly, it's just longed out. That's just my opinion. Of course, other people might have different opinions, but that's my opinion. So yeah, I was talking to Nasa about this. I was like, listen, I don't know what to do. So then what came to my mind was the fact that, you know, I should confront his mum about it. Some people at this point may think I'm moving mad. I don't think I'm moving mad, because I could have gone to the police, but I went to his mum first, purely out of respect for his mum. Because the way I saw it, you know, if this was a situation happening with my son, I would have preferred someone to come to me first, so I could maybe knock some sense into him, per se, before going to the police directly. But yeah. So I messaged his mum about this. I was kind of like, okay, so can you please tell so-and-so, I'm not going to reveal names, of course, guys. I was like, can you tell so-and-so to stop harassing you on social media, please? First reaction I got was like, oh, is this Zaina's mum? But it wasn't my mum, it was me. So I just kind of explained everything that was going on. She was like, oh, can you send me screenshots, please? I was like, yep, sure. So I forwarded all the screenshots that I had taken to her. So I think I'd emailed them, or maybe I messaged them, maybe both. Yeah, now that I remember, I emailed her first, and then I messaged her. So I sent her all the screenshots, we talked about it for a bit, and she was like, oh, if he sends anything else, send it to me. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we were talking about it a bit more after that, and then she rang me actually that day, I remember pretty vividly. So she rang me, she was like, oh, this, that, you know, he really loved you, I remember him talking to you when you were together, he really cared about you. I was like, yeah, I know, I'm acknowledging that, and I'm not denying that, but of course, harassment is harassment. So, you know, I was just being completely honest, guys, because as much as I respect the fact that we were once in a relationship, to me, harassment is never and will never be okay. That's just the fact of the matter, to be honest. So me and her were talking about it. I explained everything to her, and then she basically said, oh, unblock him. And I was a bit like, whoa, like, this was not the reaction I was expecting, because it's not the reaction that I personally would have given, considering the circumstances. Guys, I'm tired. Where's my water? So like I was saying, it wasn't the reaction that I would have given, considering the circumstances. So she told me to unblock him. I was a bit like, whoa, like, okay. Because truth be told, guys, I was a bit disappointed in that reaction. Like, I understand my mother's love for her son, etc, etc. But for me, personally, I feel like I will always, or I hope that I will always hold my sons accountable for their behaviour. Especially when it's towards another woman. That's just my opinion. Like, I'm not bashing anyone. I'm not saying anyone's a bad person. That's just my opinion. So yeah, she told me to unblock him. I was a bit like, whoa, that is not happening. Truth be told, like I made out like I was going to her, but no, that wasn't happening. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, this isn't like some mad love story where it's like, oh, she unblocked him and they were happy ever after. Like, no, this is not the case, guys, not at all. But yeah, so I didn't unblock him, and then strangely enough, later that day, after I had sort of had that interaction with his mum, he said on Curious Cat, he sent me this question. He was, guys, it was so corny. He's like, yo, call me your favourite blood clot that won't leave you alone. I'm like, guys, come on, favourite where? Like, man's been harassing me and he's saying favourite, you know. But yeah, so I think that's the story about the time that I almost found a restraining order, guys. Pretty immense. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you've made it to the end of the video, make sure to hit subscribe and also the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. Like this video if you want to see more videos like it. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.